Hi yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome to my yoga time and your yin practice for today. So I do have a bolster for this practice, but if you don't have a bolster, you can always improvise with 1 or 2 pillows. And I've also got 2 blocks, so you could use rolled up towels instead if you don't have those blocks. So first posture will be an upper back bend. You could use your bolster or your pillows. I personally prefer to use the blocks, but I will demonstrate both for you. So if you are using the bolster, lay it, or the pillow, lay it across the short side of your mat, and you might like your rolled up towel or your block for the head. So when you come down, make sure that you can take your arms out to the side. So the bolster is up underneath the shoulders, and you might choose to keep those knees bent, or feel free to straighten and relax the legs. So I'm going to practice with the blocks, and I will position those parallel to one another. So one under the shoulder blades and one under the head. So being our first posture for today, I'll start with those blocks nice and low. And again, if your lower back is catching your awareness here, keeping those knees bent, otherwise straighten and relax the legs. Arms next to the body, palms to face the ceiling. And if you are on your blocks or the towel, take the arms out to the side as high as they'll comfortably go. And if you find here that you do want to go a little deeper, you can always remove the block from underneath the head and bring it down to the mat. And feel free here to let those fingers naturally curl, or you might like to connect index finger and thumb for chin mudra. And just softening the forehead as you close the eyes down. Let's position the tip of the tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. So keeping the jaw relaxed, so feeling a slight tone in the back of your throat for Ujjayi breath. And taking your awareness to the heart center. Breathe in to this space. Imagine the breath is touching the heart center first, and then radiating out in all directions, touching every cell of the body. And just taking one more breath here. Be sure to pause at the top of the inhalation. Hold the breath for 1 or 2 counts before you exhale very slowly. And when you're ready to release the pose, bending in the knees, you might find you can just roll off to one side and remove your props. Otherwise, tucking in your chin, bending in the elbows, come halfway up, remove your props. And reclining onto your back. So having those knees bent, feet as wide as the mat, and let the knees fall into touch. Just rest the hands on the lower belly. And bringing your awareness to the upper back. Acknowledging any newfound space. And breathe into this space. You might like to take the next moment to set your intention for your practice today. Just one word if you can, something you'd like to invite into your body, your mind, your day. So from here, let's move the hips over to the left side of the mat as far as they'll go, and then straighten the legs, taking the feet over to the right side of the mat and bringing the body into a side bend. Arms overhead as well. Unless there's discomfort in your shoulder, then you can keep that arm next to the body. Either holding the elbows with the hands or just letting the hands fall wherever they land. If you want to go deep across the left ankle over the right, just be sure to keep the hips and buttocks level. So left buttock stays on the mat. Be careful not to go to your edge. Don't look for your maximum stretch, because there you won't be able to breathe. We want to deepen the pose by deepening the breath. Feeling the inhalation creating space in the left side waist. And take a moment to pause before each and every exhalation. So hold the breath for just 1 or 2 counts. You may begin to feel as though you're just breathing from the left side of the body. Let's take one last breath here. Be sure to inhale your intention. And when you're ready, releasing the pose, coming back to the center of the mat. Bending both knees, taking a hold of your left leg now, interlace the hands around the thigh and create resistance. So push the thigh into the hands, hands equally into the thigh. When you're ready, straighten that leg, maintaining that resistance. And you might even like to arch the back just a little. Let's inhale to point the toe, exhale to flex the foot. Breathing into the left leg. And just doing one more. And as you exhale, bend the knee and straighten your right leg. So coming into a twist now, we'll take the left leg over to the right and use one of your props to support the leg. So quite a few choices with this twist. Here is option 1. Feel free to make a T shape with your arms, or if your left shoulder's not happy, just rest that arm down next to the body. Option 2, you might like to straighten that left leg and move your prop underneath the ankle or the calf. Option 3, and only if there's no strain in the body, take your right leg back just a little, then bend the knee and take a hold of your right foot with your left hand. Choose the variation that your body says yes to. If the breath is inhibited, if there's any strain, then you've gone too far. And checking that the position of the tongue is still the same. The jaw is relaxed. And breathing into the lower body. Let's take one more breath here. And as you exhale, releasing the pose, returning to the center of the mat. Then moving the hips over to the right side, we'll take the side bend on the other side, feet and hands moving over to the left side of the mat. And feeling the inhalation creating space down the right side of the body. And exhaling any tension, any resistance. One more breath. Be sure to inhale your intention. And returning back to the center of the mat. Both knees will bend. We'll take a hold of the right leg now, creating that even effort, even resistance between the thigh and the hands. Straightening the leg when you're ready and begin to press down through the tailbone, allowing the back to arch just a touch. Let's inhale to point the toes and exhale to flex. Next exhalation, bend the right knee, coming into the twist. Once again, choosing the variation that your body says yes to. Taking one more breath here. Releasing the pose as you exhale. Rolling onto your back. Next pose is our supported bridge pose. So you might choose to use your bolster, your towel, or your block, placing the prop underneath your lower back. If you are using the block, you might like to take it to the flat side, or if it feels okay for your back, you can try it the second height. So once here, let's take a hold of the right leg, and only if it feels okay for your lower back, straighten and relax the left leg. Otherwise, if there's any catching sensation, keep that left leg bent. Once here, let's close the eyes down. Again, softening the forehead. Tip of the tongue is still placed where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. And just observing the navel rising towards the thigh as you inhale. And a moment to pause before you exhale. With your next inhalation, bending the left leg, releasing the right, and let's change sides. Again, feel free to relax that right leg if the back permits. So even though this left hip flexor is shortened, it's contracted, try to soften, try to relax it. And with your next inhalation, bending the right leg, releasing the left. So two choices here, either keeping both knees bent, or if it feels okay, feel free to straighten and relax the legs. Arms can be by your side or above the head. And observing the body rising and falling with the ebb and flow of the breath. Your next inhalation, bending those knees. If the legs are straight, let's lower the arms down. Now picking up the heels and the hips at the same time. Stay up on the toes as you lower down, one vertebrae at a time. When you touch down, take the hands to the knees, just cupping the hands over the knees. Arms as straight as you inhale, bend the elbows as you exhale. Slow movement, slow breath. Now, if your back needs more time with this motion, please take it. Only when you're ready, you'll inhale those feet all the way down. Come into butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together, knees to fall out wide. And I do encourage you to use your props here underneath your knees or thighs. So we're here for a few minutes. We don't want to hang out on those hip joints. Let's support the legs as best we can. Arms can be by your side or above the head. And once again, checking the position of the tongue, the softness in the jaw, the tone in the throat. As you inhale, breathe down into the hips and thighs. Find that moment to pause. And as you exhale, give in to gravity. Relax the back. So 3 more breaths here. And as you inhale, breathe down again to the hips and thighs. And when you pause, I'd like you to engage your lower abdominal muscles. Ladies, lift pelvic floor. Gents, perineum muscle. So feel a tone and an upward lift. Maintain this as you exhale. Then as you inhale, relax these muscles. Be soft, be receptive to the in-breath. A moment to pause, gently tone. Keep that tone as you exhale. One more breath. And with your next inhalation, you can bring those knees together. Hug them into the chest. If it feels okay for your back, rock and roll along the spine. Otherwise, roll to one side and push up to seated. Coming all the way up. So once you've come upright, create a diamond shape with the legs. So don't have the heels too close to the groin, push them away. And some of you might like to use your blocks underneath your knees and thighs. Others might like to stack the blocks in between the feet so that you can rest your head. Or you might like to use your pillow or your bolster, placing that across the feet and resting down. So choosing the prop that you prefer to work with. You might just rest your hands on your feet or even take your hands underneath your ankles and rest them on top of the feet.
So making yourself comfortable, we are here for a few minutes. And begin to feel the breath moving the back side of the body. Feel the back rise as you inhale. A moment to pause. And as you exhale, softening into the pose. Inhale your intention into the back side of the body. Taking one more breath here. And when you're ready, slowly coming out of the pose.
Once you come up, bring those knees upright, feet as wide as the mat. Lean back and just take those knees from side to side. So be careful not to come out of your yin postures too quickly. As you know, we're targeting the connective tissue and the joints, and they take a little more time to respond than the muscles. So do move out slowly. Give your body time to catch up with the mind. So next posture is a prone twist. You might choose to use your bolster or your pillow. If you find that the incline on the bolster is too steep, you can always place a block underneath the end. So have your bolster parallel to the long side of the mat. Sit with your left hip next to the bolster. Hands are either side. Inhale and lengthen. Get as much length as you can before you bring your navel down. Now, if you find that your hips need support here, you can place a block in between the thighs. Option to have your head turn the same direction as the knees, or a little stronger if you turn your head the opposite way. Choose a variation that doesn't cause any strain in the neck.
As you inhale, feeling the navel expand against the bolster. Let that contact prompt your diaphragmic belly breath. And let's try to find a longer exhalation here. So I'm going to count your next breath, but if you need to breathe against my count, do so. Do not strain the breath. We'll inhale for 4, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. When you're ready, let's inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might like to continue that count in your mind, or if not, just be sure to maintain the pace. And let's take one more breath here. And then follow your next inhalation coming out of the pose. So you might like just to come to your knees to change sides, or even lift up into a brief downward facing dog. So toes curling under, hips up nice and high. And then when you're ready, picking up the heels, pivoting on the feet, bringing your right hip down next to the bolster. Hands at either side. Be sure to inhale and lengthen. And as you exhale, laying the navel down. So just to help set the pace of the breath, I'll count one more breath. Same as before. When you're ready, let's inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with your next inhalation, lifting up out of the pose. So from here, bring those legs around. You can move your props to the side. We'll begin with our left leg straight and bend the right knee. So some of us might need to support the right knee and hip with your prop. If you know that your back and your hamstrings are quite tight, I'd really like you to bend this left knee. If you are bending the knee, you can place your block or your rolled up towel or even your bolster underneath. I would like you to be able to support your head. So if you don't have much range of motion to come down, you could always place a chair in front and come down to the chair. Otherwise, you might like to lay your bolster over the leg or just come down to the block, or 2 blocks stacked if you need. So just resting the hands on the mat, and if it feels okay for your shoulders, you might like to turn the palms to face the ceiling. Feel free to let the fingers naturally curl, or option 2, connect index finger and thumbs for chin mudra. And tuning into the breath, moving the back side of the body. One more breath. Be sure to inhale your intention. Following your next inhalation, coming out of the pose. You might like to take those hands behind you and swish those knees from side to side. Noticing any differences on the left and right side of the body. When you're ready, we'll change sides. Right leg is straight. Propping left leg if you need to, or right leg. When you're ready, folding down. Allowing the back to round, palms to face the ceiling. And deepening your forward bend by deepening the breath in the back side of the body. One more breath. And following your next inhalation, coming out of the pose. This time coming down onto your forearms and taking those knees from side to side. Feel free to lower down onto your back and continue that motion. Be sure to move slowly. When the legs come down to the left, take a moment to pause there. And then as you inhale, lift the left leg first, right leg will follow. Knees come down to the right side. When you inhale, move the right leg first, left leg will follow. Just doing one more on each side. And then coming back to center. So using your bolster or your pillow underneath your knees for Shavasana. So allowing those legs to fall heavy over the bolster, arms next to the body, palms to face the ceiling. Tucking the shoulders under so that the heart can expand. Option to connect index finger and thumbs. Eyes closing down and the forehead softening. Let the tongue and jaw relax.
As you drift into Shavasana, be sure to inhale your intention into your spacious body and quiet mind. I'll leave you here today, yogis. Please take as long as you need to in Shavasana. I hope you enjoyed the practice. If so, please subscribe to the channel. Have a lovely day. Namaste.